So this is Samsung M53 5G, but there's one small thing. Samsung M52 5G also sells on Amazon for 24,999 now, and this Samsung M53 5G has a price of 23,999. So which one to pick? Of course Samsung M53, Pratik. It's the new one, right? Well, there's one small thing. And by the way, 2021 versus 2022 smartphones would be a really good topic. 6,000 likes and we do it in a grand TechWiser way. Let's go. And by the way, this video is made in collaboration with Samsung. So now the box has gotten smaller. Flagship experience all the way. On a serious note, there's no charger in the box. In the previous M52, you did get a 15-watt charger. Now it gets a bit dicey when in budget or mid-range phones you don't get a charger, because this 23,999 phone will have to include the charger cost as well. So I went on Amazon to check how much does a 25-watt adapter cost. And if you go and buy a Samsung phone and just go down here, add accessories and charger, you can add a 25-watt charger for 298 rupees. So I confirmed with Samsung, if you buy a charger along with the phone, it costs 298. Else it cost 1090 rupees, something like that. So a wise deal in case you're buying a phone without a charger, you can get it for 299 at that time. Oh, by the way, few paperwork and a SIM ejector tool and USB Type-C to Type-C cable. Now build quality is where I would say there is a minor change. Like the M53 has this smooth matte kind of finish. You can see a bit of fingerprint, but it's fine. Rest, you have a plastic bag just like last year. And you have a side-mounted fingerprint scanner this time around. And the speed is good just like any other physical fingerprint scanner. And just like last year, you get a single speaker. Here's how it sounds. It actually has really good clarity, and even if you listen to dialogues or vocals, that sound pretty good, but it's not as loud as a stereo speaker. Now the display is where you will see an upgrade. Like this is 6.7 inch 120Hz full HD Super AMOLED Plus display. Now it is Samsung. It is one of the best displays in the segment. Plus is the interesting part. Samsung this year will mostly be shipping with a Super AMOLED Plus display. That's the new upgrade to Super AMOLED. So Super AMOLED Plus is brighter, sharper and uses less energy. So this is a device that tells you brightness of the display in terms of numbers called nits. And this is a wide screen at full brightness on both the displays. And this is Samsung M52. And it scores about 523, we'll take 523, and this M53 scores about 564. So it's a bit bright than M52. And even in real life, outdoors in bright sunlight, you can see the M53 looks brighter. Rest, you get wideband L1, so you can watch 1080p videos on both Netflix and Prime Video. Also, you get Corning Gorilla Glass 5 protection for the display, but glass is glass. Wise tip, use tempered glass or scratch guard. Now the biggest change this year is Dimensity 900, 6GB LPDDR4X RAM, 128GB UFS 2.2 storage. Now last year you had Snapdragon 778G and you would be like, Pratik, this year M53 sounds like a downgrade to me. Well, if you look at the AnTuTu scores, M52 is better than M53, but processors are a bit tricky to understand in that. Let me simplify. The Samsung M52 with Snapdragon 778G has a better CPU. The Samsung M53 with Dimensity 900 has a better GPU. So how does that affect you in day-to-day life? Well, using social media, browsing web, watching videos, nothing, not a lot. But if you play games, let me show you. In BGMI, so you can play smooth graphics, extreme FPS, or max you can go ultra FPS HDR graphics. Let's play in extreme FPS because why not?
Enemy down!
Of course, enemies down.
Killing spree for the red team!
Enemy down!
Oh, there's a good frame drop.
Clear!
I can see a bit of frame drops here and there. And if I'm not dying, overall the gameplay is good, decent, I would say. But BGMI is a popular game. If you play some other games like Call of Duty, see, Snapdragon has better game support. Like you can go very high graphics at maximum frame rates, like you can see. Whereas on MediaTek, if you have to go max frame rates, you have to switch to low graphics. So if gaming is your priority, generally you should prefer Snapdragon. Now, camera is where I feel Samsung undoubtedly has one of the best camera software processing and probably one of the best camera in the segment. And now you get a 108 megapixel main sensor on the M53, so I'm expecting the photos to be a lot sharper this time. Like the first thing I noticed that Samsung M53 takes a lot of cooler photos, whereas M52 takes warmer photos. If you look at this Manu picture, or if you look at these trees and all the leaves fallen down, it's cooler on M53, it's warmer on M52. And about the sharpness, I think it's more or less the same. Like if you zoom in into this Manu's picture, M52 is sharper. If you zoom into this tree picture, M53 is sharper. And in terms of wide angle, you now have an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera compared to 12 megapixel from the last year. So I thought the photos should come out less sharper, but again, in outdoor light conditions, both photos were more or less the same. So in terms of rear camera, I think it's more or less the same. Like this year, you get a couple of good photo features in the M53 series, like this object eraser. So a lot of times you take photos and there are unwanted people in the images which you want to remove later on. So here I can go and just draw a line around Manu and just tap on erase. And it does a really good job of removing Manu from this picture. But the major difference is with the selfie camera. Like you get a 32 megapixel selfie camera, but the software processing is improved quite a lot. Like in my photos, I found out the skin tone to be a lot more accurate on the M53, and even in terms of dynamic range, like if you look at this photo, the HDR performance and all is better on Samsung M53. And of course, you get a 2 megapixel depth camera and 2 megapixel macro camera for symmetry. And Samsung gives you the option to record 4K 30 FPS video on the front camera as well as main sensor. And if you want to record videos on all three sensors, wide angle, main and selfie camera, then you'll have to switch to 1080p 30 FPS. Now, software is something I would be like, wow, One UI best. Well, the phone comes with Android 12 right out of the box. Samsung is promising 2 years of Android updates and 4 years of security updates for M series phone. So both M52 and M53 have Android 12. The only thing is M52 will only receive updates till Android 13, whereas M53 will receive updates until Android 14. Rest, you get full One UI 4.1, secure folder, screen recorder, hardware knocks, everything. And a very small thing to note is Samsung M53 has Samsung Pay Mini. Now, if you don't know, Samsung Pay Mini only supports UPI. You cannot add your cards in it. And there is a very interesting call feature. Like now I'm standing besides a big AC and there should be lot of fan noise. So there is a feature called Intelligent Voice Focus, which is now on, and it uses AI to enhance your voice and remove all the background noises. So I've seen this in laptops and a lot of Zoom calls. Hopefully, you should be hearing only my voice and the background noise should be suppressed. Let me know in the comments. Also, you do get a few bloatware which you can uninstall like this. And there's also a Discover tab which you can just go in settings and disable it. Rest, you get 5000 mAh battery just like last year. You can fast charge it at 25 watt. The charger you have to buy it separately. You get all the important sensor. You get 12 bands of 5G, which is more than enough. I also checked 4G Plus with my Jio SIM and it works really well. Now, overall, if you look at 2022 smartphone launches, the M53 is a good launch. For better updates, a better selfie camera, 1 year extra Android update, you can consider Samsung M53 5G. We'll definitely be doing an overall review or comparison with other phones. Let us know in the comments. On that note, this is Prateek signing off. See ya pretty soon. Pew pew.